Nature is not only beautiful, but also incredibly unbelievable. The bizarre abilities you're about to witness could completely change the way you view animals. Get ready, because the first one will amaze you. Number 1. Sea cucumber, the creature that fights back with its own body. Sea cucumber, the creature that fights back with its own body. The sea cucumber looks slow, soft, and completely defenseless. It crawls quietly along the ocean floor, almost like a living sack blending into sand and rocks without drawing attention. There's no speed, no sharp teeth, no visible weapons. At first glance, it seems like the easiest target in the entire ocean, but the moment danger gets too close, everything changes. Instead of running, the sea cucumber does something so strange it almost feels unreal. It turns its own body into a weapon. When threatened, it contracts violently and ejects parts of its internal organs out through its rear end. Long, sticky thread-like structures shoot into the water, expanding and tangling instantly. To a predator, it's like suddenly running into a net that came out of nowhere. These expelled organs are incredibly sticky, wrapping around anything they touch. Some species even release toxins along with them, making the situation even worse for whatever tried to attack. In seconds, the predator goes from hunter to trapped and confused, struggling to escape the mess. And while all of this chaos is happening, the sea cucumber slowly moves away, buying itself just enough time to survive. What makes this even more shocking is what happens next. After literally throwing out parts of its own body, the sea cucumber doesn't die. Instead, it begins to regenerate everything it lost. Over time, it rebuilds its internal organs, returning to normal as if nothing happened. It's like sacrificing a part of yourself to survive, then simply growing it back. Some sea cucumbers can repeat this process multiple times throughout their lives. It's not a one-time defense, it's a strategy built into their existence, a last resort move that turns vulnerability into survival. Despite their simple appearance, sea cucumbers play an important role in the ocean. They clean the seabed, processing sand and organic material, keeping ecosystems balanced. Quietly, slowly, they help maintain the health of the environment. But when threatened, they reveal a side that's anything but passive. A creature that looks harmless, yet can fight back by literally using its own body as a shield, a trap, and a weapon all at once. Number 2. Blue-ringed octopus, the deadly flash of blue. Blue-ringed octopus, the deadly flash of blue. The blue-ringed octopus is small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. At first glance, it looks harmless, almost cute with its smooth body and soft movements. But hidden beneath that calm appearance is a level of danger few creatures can match. When threatened, its body transforms. Bright electric blue rings begin to glow across its skin, flashing like warning lights in the water. The change is sudden and impossible to ignore. It's not for decoration, it's a clear signal. Stay away, because once this octopus bites, there's no turning back. Its venom contains a powerful neurotoxin capable of shutting down the human nervous system in minutes. The bite itself is small and often painless, so victims may not even realize they've been stung. But within moments, the effects begin. Muscles weaken, breathing becomes difficult, and paralysis sets in rapidly. What makes this even more frightening is how little venom it takes. A single blue-ringed octopus carries enough toxin to affect multiple humans, and unlike many predators, it doesn't need to attack aggressively. Even accidental contact can trigger a defensive bite. Despite its size, this octopus is highly active and alert. It moves quickly across rocks and coral, using its intelligence and flexibility to explore its surroundings. Like other octopuses, it can squeeze into tiny spaces, hide in crevices, and disappear when needed. But when escape isn't possible, it relies on its ultimate defense. That flash of blue, the rings pulse brighter and faster, almost like a warning countdown. It's nature's version of a flashing alarm, giving one last chance to back away. But if ignored, the octopus doesn't hesitate. Its bite delivers venom that blocks nerve signals, stopping muscles from responding. The victim remains conscious, but unable to move, a terrifying experience of being fully aware while completely paralyzed. And yet the blue-ringed octopus doesn't seek out conflict. It prefers to avoid danger, using camouflage to stay hidden. The glowing rings only appear when it feels threatened, making them both a warning and a final line of defense. In the quiet corners of the ocean, this tiny creature proves that size means nothing when it comes to power. A small body, a brief flash of blue, and a danger that can't be seen until it's already begun. Number 3. Lamprey, the living relic. Lamprey, the living relic. The lamprey looks like something pulled straight out of a nightmare. Its long eel-like body moves through the water with slow, unsettling motions. But it's the mouth that truly stands out, a circular opening lined with rows of sharp, inward-facing teeth, forming a structure that looks more like a suction-driven trap than anything natural. This isn't just a mouth, it's a tool built for attachment. When a lamprey finds its target, it doesn't strike with speed or force. Instead, it latches on. Its suction cup mouth clamps tightly onto the body of another fish, locking into place with incredible grip. Once attached, escape becomes almost impossible. Then it begins to feed. Using its teeth and a rough, rasping tongue, the lamprey grinds into the flesh of its host, creating an opening. From there, it consumes blood and body fluids, staying attached for extended periods. It's not a quick attack, it's a slow draining process that weakens the host over time. What makes this even more disturbing is its persistence. A lamprey can remain attached for days, feeding continuously while the host struggles. Some fish manage to escape, but many are left exhausted, injured, or unable to recover. Despite its primitive appearance, the lamprey is incredibly effective. It has existed for hundreds of millions of years, surviving through massive changes in the planet's history. It's often referred to as a living fossil, a creature that has remained largely unchanged while everything around it evolved. Its body lacks jaws, which makes its feeding method even more unique. Instead of biting in the traditional sense, it relies entirely on suction and abrasion. It's a completely different approach to predation, one that feels almost alien. Compared to modern fish, lampreys can be found in both freshwater and marine environments depending on the species. Some migrate between rivers and oceans, continuing a life cycle that has remained consistent for ages. There's something deeply unsettling about the lamprey. It doesn't rush, it doesn't overpower. It simply attaches and slowly takes what it needs. In a world filled with fast, aggressive predators, the lamprey stands out as something older, quieter, and far more patient. A creature from another time, still surviving, still feeding unchanged and unstoppable in its own way. Number 4. Anglerfish, the nightmare of reproduction. Anglerfish, the nightmare of reproduction. In the crushing darkness of the deep ocean, where sunlight has never reached and pressure could crush steel, the anglerfish lives a life that feels closer to horror than nature. Everything about it seems designed to survive in a place where almost nothing else can. But its most disturbing secret is not how it hunts, it is how it reproduces. At first glance, the female anglerfish already looks like something out of a nightmare. A massive head, a mouth filled with long needle-like teeth that curve inward like a trap you can never escape, and dangling from its forehead a glowing lure that flickers in the darkness, attracting prey that never realizes it is swimming toward its end. But the real story begins when a male anglerfish enters the picture. Compared to the female, the male is almost laughably small. Weak, fragile. In the vast emptiness of the deep sea, finding a mate is nearly impossible. So evolution took a terrifying shortcut. When a male finally finds a female, he does not court her. He does not leave. He bites her, and he never lets go. At first it seems like a simple attachment, but over time something far more disturbing happens. The male body begins to fuse with the female. His skin merges with hers. His organs start to shrink. His eyes disappear. His brain degenerates. Slowly, piece by piece, he loses everything that makes him an individual, until all that remains is a living extension of the female body. He becomes nothing more than a permanent parasite, a biological appendage whose only purpose is to provide sperm whenever the female needs it. In some species, a single female can carry multiple males fused to her body like a collection of living tools. It is not love. It is not partnership. It is survival at its most extreme. Imagine a world so empty, so unforgiving, that the only way to ensure reproduction is to give up your entire existence. To become part of something else, to lose your identity completely. That is the reality of the anglerfish. And yet in that endless darkness, this grotesque system works perfectly. The female drifts through the deep, her glowing lure cutting through the blackness like a beacon. Around her, the fused males remain silent and invisible, ensuring that when the time comes, life continues. In a place where survival is already a miracle, the anglerfish has turned reproduction into something unforgettable. Not beautiful, not gentle, but undeniably effective. A nightmare that somehow keeps the species alive. Number 5. Starfish, the master of regeneration. Starfish, the master of regeneration. The starfish doesn't rush. It doesn't chase. It moves slowly across the ocean floor, almost effortlessly, using hundreds of tiny tube feet to glide over rocks and sand. At first glance, it seems simple, just a star-shaped creature drifting through the sea. But beneath that calm exterior lies one of the most incredible survival abilities in the animal kingdom. The starfish can rebuild itself. If a predator grabs one of its arms, the starfish doesn't panic. It simply lets the arm go. The detached limb continues to move for a short time, distracting the predator, while the rest of the body escapes. It's a clean break, a calculated sacrifice. And then something almost unbelievable happens. Over time, the starfish grows the lost arm back. Cell by cell, tissue by tissue, it reconstructs what was taken. A missing limb becomes a new one, fully functional and just as strong as before. It's not a quick process, but it's incredibly effective. Some species take this even further. In certain cases, a single severed arm, if it contains part of the central body, can grow into an entirely new starfish. That means one animal can become two. It's not just regeneration, it's duplication. Imagine losing a limb and watching it turn into another version of you. But regeneration isn't the only thing that makes starfish unique. Their feeding method is just as unusual. Instead of chewing food inside their bodies, they can push their stomachs out through their mouths, wrapping them around their prey. They begin digesting food externally and breaking it down before pulling it back inside. It's a slow, methodical way of feeding perfectly suited to their pace of life. Starfish also don't have a centralized brain like most animals. Instead, they rely on a network of nerves spread throughout their bodies. Each arm can sense and react to the environment, giving them a kind of decentralized awareness. They may not be fast or aggressive, but they don't need to be. Their strength lies in endurance, adaptability, and the ability to recover from damage that would end most other lives. In a world where survival often depends on avoiding injury, the starfish thrives by overcoming it. Lose a part, grow it back, and keep going. Number 6. Barreleye fish, the transparent observer. Barreleye fish, the transparent observer. The barreleye fish looks like something from another world. Floating silently in the deep ocean, it carries one of the strangest features ever seen in a living creature, a completely transparent head. At first glance, it's almost hard to believe it's real. The top of its head is clear like glass, revealing the inner structure beneath. Inside, you can see its eyes, two bright green tube-shaped organs that seem to glow in the darkness. These aren't ordinary eyes. Unlike most fish, the barreleye's eyes are designed to look upward. They scan the waters above, searching for faint silhouettes of prey, drifting in the dim light filtering down from the surface. In the deep ocean, where visibility is limited, this upward vision gives the barreleye a huge advantage. But what makes it even more incredible is its ability to adjust. For a long time, scientists believed the eyes were fixed in place, but later discoveries revealed that the barreleye can actually rotate its eyes forward. This means it can look straight ahead when needed, allowing it to track and capture prey more effectively. It's like having a built-in periscope that can change direction on demand. The transparent head isn't just for show. It protects the eyes while allowing them to move freely. It's a delicate but highly specialized structure perfectly adapted to life in the deep sea. The barreleye's body itself is relatively small and unassuming, helping it remain unnoticed in the vast darkness. It doesn't rely on speed or strength. Instead, it drifts patiently, observing, waiting for the right moment. When it spots prey, often small organisms or drifting animals, it moves in carefully, using its precise vision to guide every motion. In an environment where mistakes can mean missing a rare meal, accuracy is everything. There's something almost eerie about this fish. A creature with a see-through head silently watching the world above its glowing eyes, tracking movement in the dark. It feels less like an animal and more like a living observation device built to see what others cannot. In the deep ocean where light fades and mystery takes over, the barreleye fish stands as a reminder that evolution can create forms that seem impossible yet work perfectly for survival. Number 7. Goblin shark, the living monster. Goblin shark, the living monster. There is a creature in the ocean that looks like it crawled straight out of a nightmare and somehow survived millions of years unchanged. The goblin shark does not look real. Its pale pink body almost glows in the darkness. Its long, flattened snout stretches forward like a blade, and its jaws do not stay where they should. At first, it moves slowly, almost awkwardly, drifting through deep water with a strange, lazy motion as if it does not belong. Nothing about it suggests speed or danger. It does not chase like other sharks. It does not circle or stalk. And then, without warning, everything changes. In a split second, its jaws shoot forward out of its face. Not open, not bite, shoot. Like a spring-loaded trap, its entire jaw structure launches outward, extending far beyond its head. Rows of long, needle-sharp teeth snap shut around its prey before the victim even understands. Then just as quickly, the jaws retract back into place as if nothing ever happened. It is fast, unnatural, almost mechanical. This bizarre hunting method is what allows the goblin shark to survive in the deep sea, where food is rare and every opportunity matters. It does not rely on speed. It relies on precision. One strike, one chance. No mistakes. Its long snout is not just for show either. It is packed with special sensors. These sensors can detect tiny electrical signals from other animals. In complete darkness, where eyes are nearly useless, the goblin shark can feel the presence of prey hidden in the sand or drifting nearby. It is like hunting in total blindness and still never missing. What makes this creature even more unsettling is how ancient it is. The goblin shark is often called a living fossil, a species that has remained largely unchanged for over 100 million years. While other creatures evolved, adapted, and disappeared, this one simply stayed, because it did not need to change. Its design already worked perfectly. Imagine a predator so effective that evolution barely touched it, a body so strange that it looks like a mistake yet functions with terrifying accuracy. That is the goblin shark. It does not roar. It does not chase dramatically through the water. It drifts. It waits. And when the moment comes, it strikes faster than anything expects. A quiet monster from the past still hunting in the darkness today. Number 8. Vampire squid, the living fossil. Vampire squid, the living fossil. Far below the surface, in a layer of the ocean where oxygen is scarce and life struggles to exist, drifts a creature that feels like it does not belong to the present at all. The vampire squid looks less like a modern animal and more like something that survived from another world. Its name alone sparks fear, but the truth is stranger than fiction. With dark cloak-like webbing stretched between its arms, glowing red eyes, and a body that seems to absorb light, the vampire squid moves slowly through the water like a shadow that has come to life. When threatened, it does not attack. It transforms. It flips its body inside out. In a sudden motion, its arms curl backward over its head, exposing rows of soft spine-like structures. This defensive posture, often called the pineapple posture, makes it look larger, more intimidating, almost alien. It is not trying to fight, but it is trying to confuse, to scare, to survive without wasting energy, because in its world, energy is everything. Unlike most squid, the vampire squid does not chase prey. It does not hunt in the traditional sense. Instead, it feeds on what scientists call marine snow, tiny particles of organic debris drifting down from above, dead plankton, fragments of life, waste from creatures it will never see. It collects this falling material using long, delicate filaments, pulling it slowly toward its mouth. It survives not by speed or strength, but by patience. What makes the vampire squid truly fascinating is how little it has changed over time. It is often referred to as a living fossil, a species that has remained almost unchanged for millions of years. While other creatures evolved, adapted, and transformed, the vampire squid stayed almost the same, because it did not need to change. Its environment remained stable. Its strategy remained effective. In a world where evolution never stops, the vampire squid found a way to simply endure. And then there is its light. When threatened, it can produce soft blue bioluminescent flashes illuminating the darkness in brief pulses. It can even release glowing clouds into the water, confusing predators and giving itself a chance to disappear into the blackness. It does not fight. It does not chase. It does not dominate. It survives quietly, efficiently, almost invisibly. In the deepest parts of the ocean where time seems to stand still, the vampire squid drifts on. A reminder that sometimes the most successful strategy is not to evolve faster. It is to remain exactly as you are. Number 9. Immortal jellyfish, the secret of eternal life. Immortal jellyfish, the secret of eternal life. Imagine a creature that refuses to die. Not in the dramatic way of surviving danger or escaping predators, but in a way that feels almost impossible. A creature that when faced with death, simply starts over. The immortal jellyfish is small, fragile, almost invisible in the vast ocean. At first glance, there is nothing remarkable about it. No sharp teeth, no glowing lure, no terrifying appearance. And yet it may hold one of the greatest biological secrets on Earth. When most living things reach the end of their life, that is it. The process is final. But for this jellyfish, the story can rewind. When it becomes stressed, injured, or old, it does not die in the usual sense. It transforms. Its body begins to collapse in on itself, shrinking, breaking down, losing its familiar shape. But instead of decaying completely, its cells begin to reorganize. They revert to an earlier stage of life, almost like resetting a biological clock. It returns to its juvenile form. From there, it begins its life cycle all over again. This process, known as transdifferentiation, allows the jellyfish to effectively escape death. In theory, it can repeat this cycle indefinitely, moving from adulthood back to youth again and again. It is not truly invincible. It can still be eaten. It can still be destroyed. But if left undisturbed, it has the potential to live forever. Think about that. A creature that does not age the way we understand it. A life that loops instead of ending. A biological system that defies one of the most fundamental rules of existence. Scientists are fascinated by this ability. If we can understand how its cells reset and rebuild, it could unlock new insights into aging regeneration and even human medicine. But in the ocean, it is just another drifting organism. Quiet, simple, almost unnoticed. It does not seek immortality. It does not understand what it has. It simply follows its nature, repeating a cycle that has no clear end. And somewhere in the vast silent water, this tiny jellyfish continues its endless journey, living, reversing, beginning again, over and over, as if time itself does not apply to it. Number 10. Tardigrade, the unbreakable creature. Tardigrade, the unbreakable creature. There is a creature so small you could walk past thousands of them and never notice a single one. And yet this tiny organism might be the toughest life form on Earth. The tardigrade, often called the water bear, looks harmless, almost cute, but do not let that fool you. This thing is nearly impossible to kill. Under a microscope, it looks like a tiny chubby animal with 8 stubby legs slowly crawling through drops of water. It lives in moss soil, even in the thin film of moisture on leaves. It does not hunt. It does not attack. It simply exists. But when conditions turn extreme, the tardigrade reveals its true power. When there is no water, it dries out completely. Its body shrinks, its metabolism drops to almost zero, and it enters a state that looks like death. No movement, no activity, nothing. But it is not dead. It is waiting. In this suspended state, the tardigrade can survive conditions that would destroy almost any other form of life. Freezing temperatures close to absolute zero, extreme heat, intense radiation, crushing pressure, even the vacuum of space. Yes, space. Scientists have actually exposed tardigrades to the harsh environment outside Earth, and some of them survived. No oxygen, no protection, just raw cosmic exposure. And somehow they endured. Then when water returns, something incredible happens. The tardigrade rehydrates, its body expands, its cells begin working again, and within hours it comes back to life while walking as if nothing ever happened. It is like hitting pause on life and then pressing play again. What makes this possible is a combination of unique proteins and biological processes that protect its cells from damage. Its DNA remains stable even under conditions that would normally tear it apart. Scientists are fascinated by this ability. If we can understand how tardigrades protect themselves, it could change how we approach medicine, preservation, even space travel. But the tardigrade does not know any of that. It does not try to be indestructible. It does not fight to survive. It simply adapts in a way that feels almost unreal. In a world where most creatures struggle against the environment, the tardigrade does something different. It outlasts it. Quietly, patiently, unbreakably. You've just witnessed possibilities that science is still researching and deciphering, but there are many more mysteries to come. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any discoveries.